Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Steve Mantis, and my guests today are two professors from Lakehead University, Dr. Shandar Sahi
Yes,
and Steve Jobbett. Welcome.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So I understand that a couple weeks ago it was International Development Week, proclaimed by the United Nations, and folks here at Lakehead University got involved with that. Tell me a little bit about that and why you were involved.
The International Development Week, which is celebrated every year by the United Nations, basically wants to raise awareness about the global issues all around the world. And we have a group here in Lakehead University where professors from different departments have joined together, and we have been funded by the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council through the Assistance to Smaller Universities grant. And this group of 8 or 9 professors have come together who are doing work in different parts of the world, in developing countries and some in developed countries too, and we share our experiences together. So this research group, as it is called, it has put up this they brought different professors from different areas, and they talked about the kind of work they are doing in different parts of the world.
So give me a little bit of background, first with you, Shandar. What field are you in? What's your background and
I am a professor in natural resources management at Lakehead University. My area or my expertise is in resource economics, and I have served in the Indian Forest Service in India for 16 years. And now I am basically focusing on the resource issues, the economics around the resource issues here in Canada, and my research is focused on community economic development, on far north communities. I am working a lot with for their economic development.
Great. And Steve, what's your background in your field of study?
Well, my background is in Eastern European history, in particular, focusing on 20th century Hungary. And the work I'm doing with our Resource Economy and Society Research Group at Lakehead University that was just founded deals primarily with the politics of anti-austerity in Hungary, Portugal, and doing a comparative study of that and putting it into a global context. So that's the kind of work I'm doing as a historian, trying to engage current events, current situations from a historical point of view.
Well, both you guys are right up my alley. I'm a history buff, and I'm very interested in our own community economic development here in the Northwest.
Yes.
So the research center is fairly new here at Lakehead University. How do you see yourself engaging with the community here in Northwest Ontario?
This is because all the professors there in the research group, we call it research, RESRG. This group, there are professors who are working not only internationally but with the communities here. So we are trying to transfer some of the experiences, of course, that we have here into international arenas, and we are also getting experiences from the global south to global north. I mean, just to make the best use of the things that we are learning in different parts of the world.
Well, I just want to pursue this a little bit further with you, Shandar, because before the show we were talking, and you've done some work in terms of community economic development in India.
Yes.
And when you told me in the resource industry, and you told me you were particularly interested in the poverty of the local folks and their health, I went, why didn't I know you sooner? Why I want you on my campaign team next time I run. So tell me a little bit about that experience in India.
The work that I did in India, and I made a presentation, and it was very well attended by the students and appreciated too. We had, because I was in the Indian Forest Service, so we were working in remote rural areas of India where the poverty is very high. India is a big country with a population of around 1.2 billion people, and if I'm not wrong, about 40% of the people are below the poverty line. That means they do not have 2 square meals a day. So we were in very remote areas in the lower Himalayan region in the north of India, and we went to those villages, and we see that the resources are depleting there. Resource means forest resources are depleting there. They do not have even proper drinking water facilities. Like there is no connection to the drinking water. They get drinking water, especially in the summer months when it is like very hot there. The only source of their drinking water is they will dig a small pit in the ground where it used to be a river at one time, because the water used to flow during the monsoon season. It is called the rainy season. And whatever water that is seeping out of that pit, they will be using as their drinking water facilities. And the remoteness of those villages is such that we had to walk for kilometers and kilometers. There is no access to those villages through roads in order to get to those villages. And there are a number of such villages there. So we went there and we found those problems of poverty, of education, of health care. Those are the kind of problems those people are facing. Now, how do we engage those people? That is very, very important. Now, engaging is possible if we tell them that we are doing something for you. And they know about their resources, as I told you. So now we want to, because they have cattle there, so they graze their cattle in the open forest. So the forests are getting depleted over a period of time. So there is hardly any, and they bring a lot of forest products in terms of fuel wood from the forest. And slowly it is getting depleted. Now, how do we engage the community in order to retain their resource, in fact enhance their resource, and at the same time talk about their economic development? So this was a very difficult, a very challenging task. People are so dependent on the forest that for their everyday requirement, they have to go to the forest to bring fuel wood. Otherwise, there will be no food on the table. So we engaged them. We got a project from the World Bank. And that World Bank project required us that whatever the communities want, that has to be implemented. So we sat down, we made a plan, taking their input, what they want there to be done. One of the requirement was that there has to be an entry point activity. What does an entry point activity means? For example, a village needs that they need a small dispensary, like a small health unit in their place. Another school needs a small a room for the school. They don't have a room for the elementary school. Another village needs a small road access. Another village needs a small pond. So those are the kind of activities that we did so as to get to know them better. So we stayed there, we did all those kinds of activities, and slowly we engaged with them, and then we talked about the resources they have. Then we reserved a particular area for where they can take the fuel wood, but the rest of the area we started working on, and we developed it. And I can show you pictures, like they have done wonderful work there. But it is over a period of 10 to 15 years that we have been able to change this whole scenario. So I wanted to show you those pictures.
All right, we'll add some of those pictures on the screen if we can as we're talking here. We're just need to take a short break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.